He comforts you in them. He takes action on all of them, and He straightens you out in every single one of them, and He fills you by sharing His life with you. So tell me, answer this. Why do you spend so much time fighting and worrying about your pressure points? Why is that our first reaction to pressure is to panic? Isn't it? We beg Him, God, please, take this away from me. Do a miracle. Do something. God, I need you. I need you. I need you. I'm so tired of all the pressures. I just need a break. I need some breathing room. And we want God to take us out of all the pressures when God says, I am going to comfort you in all your troubles. So God is reminding us through Paul that He has a higher purpose for you, Mom, than to take you and make you comfortable by removing all the pressure points. He wants to comfort you in every single one of them. Listen to that two-letter word, in all your troubles. In other words, He may keep the stress on you because He's coming and He's standing next to you in that tight place. He's standing right next to you and He's putting His arm around you and He's saying, now I'm going to straighten you up. I'm going to straighten you up, and you're going to look to the future and you're going to say, I'm walking into everything that God has got for me. And then He fills you with His power and with His strength and with His Spirit like a flood, like a whirlwind. He comes and He empowers you in all your troubles. What is God doing in your life? Simple answer. He is comforting you in all your troubles. Now, this idea of comfort is so countercultural. It is so different from what we imagine. Listen to how the Message puts it, verse 4. God comes alongside us when we're going through hard times. And before you know it, He brings us alongside someone else who is going through the same problems we have. He's answering question number 3. Can God use you in all your squeeze? Can God use you in all your squeeze? And what is the answer? How can I help somebody else when I'm going through all these problems myself? I need to fix me before I can help fix you. God can use you because listen to what He says in verse 4. You can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. Listen. We comfort those in any trouble, in any squeeze, with the same comfort we ourselves have received from God. So your troubles are the key to effective ministry. Did you hear that? Your troubles and your pressure points and all the circumstances are the key to effective ministry in your life. The best ministers here at the sanctuary are those who have been through it. Because they understand something. They understand who God is. He's the Father of compassion. He invented it. And He's the God of all comfort. Even when I feel like I'm under pressure, God is standing right next to me. And what is He doing? He's straightening me up. And He's making me strong. He's empowering me. So when I see somebody else going through that, I can walk up to them in my squeeze and say, I know who God is, and you need to know who God is. This is what God is doing in my life, and He can do it in yours. Can you say amen? So God comes alongside you in your hard times, and before you know it, He brings alongside someone else who is going through the same thing, so that you can be there for that person just as God was there for you. Are you getting this, church? Are you getting this, Mom? Because you face a lot of pressures. You face a lot of circumstances that are around you. Well, God has no intention of taking you out of your circumstances, of deleting all your pressure points. He is teaching you how to learn who He is. Amen. He's teaching you what it means to be comforted by His Spirit, to be empowered and straightened. So stop thinking about how bad you hurt. Stop being fixated on your own problems. Stop turning them over and over and over in your mind, thinking, what can I do to make life easier and better for myself? Stop looking at them from every viewpoint, weighing them carefully, trying to figure out the best way to fight them. That is when the problems get bigger and bigger and bigger. So stop sitting on the sidelines and sulking and crying. Stop thinking of how bad you hurt. Don't you know who God is? And who is He? The Father of compassion, the God of all comfort. And what is God doing? He's acting. He's straightening me out. He's filling me. He's empowering me. He's making me as a mom brave and strong. So I can reach out and I can help my neighbors and I can help my children and I can help my husband and I can help all the other hurting moms that are around me. So can God use you in all your troubles? The answer is yes and yes and yes. That's when one word will characterize your life, Mom. Overflow. You and I will overflow. Paul says your life will overflow with strength. Listen to 2 Corinthians 1:5. Just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ. Now this verse doesn't make any sense to human logic. This verse doesn't compute because it doesn't sound like common sense or good human reasoning. You see, this verse is what's called an oxymoron. An oxymoron is when two opposites are true, like clean dirt. Clean dirt. That's true. It can happen. Military intelligence. That's for you, Steve. That's an oxymoron. The sufferings of Christ. In other words, the first thing that is poured into your life is the sufferings of Christ. And they come in abundance. Next one, please. Abundance. Abundant suffering. When he talks about the sufferings of Christ, he's not looking back 2,000 years ago to the sufferings that Christ suffered at the cross. That suffering is complete. The sufferings of Christ we share today are the pressures that surround us because you are a Christ follower. The sufferings of Christ are what others say about you because you have made a choice to stand for Jesus Christ. The sufferings of Christ is what others do to you because you love God more than you love them. And abundant sufferings pour in. Have you noticed when sufferings come, when trouble comes, they tend to come in packs of 12? They just kind of heap themselves upon us. They just keep on coming. Abundant sufferings. I learned in computer language what is called GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you type into computer language, That's what you're going to get on the computer screen, Gigo. Well, guess what? Gigo doesn't work in the Christian faith. Because here's the oxymoron. What am I getting poured into my life? Abundant suffering. Well, logic says what would come out? The same amount of suffering, if not more. But listen to what Paul says. You pouring out abounding comfort. You pour in abundant suffering, you pour out. There on the screen, see, I found a picture of being poured in and overflowing and being poured out. Abundant, abounding comfort through Jesus Christ. Are you getting that? Suffering poured in, comfort being poured out. And that defines everything we know about the Lord. Well, how can this be? Because God is God. Amen. Because God can make the impossible happen. So when abundant suffering comes into your life and the trouble just keeps on squeezing, guess what's coming out of you? Abundant strength, abounding strength, more strength than you have for your own troubles. Enough abounding that you can flow into other people's lives. In fact, this word abounding actually goes back to the miracle when Jesus fed thousands of people from those little fish, the size of a sardine, and those little breads, which had just been a little pancake for a young boy, and he fed thousands of people, and they picked up 12 baskets of crumbs. And he uses that same excess to describe what happens in your life. You may just have a small trouble, but God so comforts you that it pours out of you. It is in excess. There's a surplus of strength and comfort coming out of your life. It is abounding. I want you to get this, church. Your strengthening and your comfort from God will always exceed your pressure points. Always. God will allow stuff to flow into you because He wants His strength to flow out of you. Mom, you face many difficulties, but God's comfort should be like a flood. Like a flood that just pours out of you no matter how much pressure you are going through. So who is God for you? Is He the inventor of compassion? The God who comes and He strengthens me in all my troubles. And He strengthens me so much that I can step out and I can wrap my arms around everybody else and I can strengthen them with the strength that I have received from God. Now that's a mom. Let's pray. Think about all the trouble, the squeeze, the pressure points, the set of circumstances that are surrounding you today. You can beg God and plead with God all you want to get out from under them. But God is coming right alongside you, Mom. He's coming right alongside you, Dad. He's coming right alongside you, young man, young lady, because He wants to empower you. He wants to build you up, to make you strong. He wants to make you brave. He wants to fill you with Himself. What are you going through today? God's object is to so empower you that you can walk right through that squeeze and help other people around you. No more complaining about the squeeze. Think about the squeeze others are going through and let the strength God has filled you with flow into their lives, into their hearts. That's ministry. Where are you today? Every single one of us is going through some kind of pressure point. So can we all stand before the Lord right now? And let's recognize who He is. And if any of you in this place, you've never committed your life to the Lord, would you step forward right now and say, Pastor, I want to know this God of compassion, this God who strengthens me. Come step forward and stand right in front of me, that we can help you commit your life to the God who will empower you beyond what you ever dreamed He would do. And if you've committed your life and you are living for the Lord, why are you complaining about your precious? Would you yield yourself to the Lord today? Say, Lord, you are empowering me right now. Lord, you are filling me right now. Lord, you're making me brave right now. Lord, you're giving me so much strength that I can overflow to the people around me. That is God's plan for you. If any of you need to come forward this morning for prayer, come kneel at the altar if you wish. If I can support you in all your squeeze, come stand right in front of me.
From the highest of heights to the depths of the